You hit the hammer on the head. You hit the nail on the hammer. Wait, you hit the head? Oh my God. You hit the hammer on the hail. Oh my God. You hit the nail. I'm really having a problem with this phrase right now. I swear to God, I know it. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. So happy to have you. I'm Ashley. This is Funnily Enough, and I am so stoked to have some themed stories for you today. Today's theme is April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day should be what, in like 2 or 3 days? I don't know. Check a calendar. April Fool's Day is around the corner. And because of that, the themes that I have in terms of the stories for this week are all around pranks, people feeling foolish, people feeling silly, people who feel like they have been bamboozled, if you will. With that being said, let's go ahead and just get right on into it with the first story. Editing Ashley here. I'm realizing now upon editing that this first story is not a prank gone wrong. This is just a scenario in which OP feels foolish and silly about their circumstance. So I don't know where I went wrong picking that story, but the rest of them are all about pranks, I swear. So, first story is coming from R Off My Chest. It's from user Dweez Nwats, and it is titled, I introduced my boyfriend to my lesbian friend, and now they're together. I still don't know how to process this.
What?
I just need to vent because the situation has been living in my head rent free, and I genuinely don't know what to make of it. While we were still together, I introduced him to one of my university friends. My friend is a lesbian, but uses he, him pronouns. At the time, I thought it was great that they got along because I like when the people in my life can connect with each other. But over time, they started getting really close, close enough that it started making me uncomfortable. The way they interacted just felt off to me. Eventually, I realized they seemed to like each other. That's when I decided to break up with my boyfriend because I felt like something was going on and I didn't want to stay in a relationship where I felt like the third person. Now, they're actually together. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around the whole situation. After the breakup, I also noticed some things online that made everything feel even more confusing. My ex changed his pronouns on Discord from he, him to they, them, and on X, he reposts a lot of LGBTQ related content now, especially things about being gay. When we were together, he always identified as straight. So now my brain keeps replaying everything and trying to understand what actually happened. Part of me wonders if he was already questioning things and just didn't realize it yet. Another part of me keeps going back to the timeline in my head and thinking about how everything seemed to change after they became close. I don't want to sound like I'm blaming my friend or judging anyone's identity because that's not my intention. I know people can discover new things about themselves, but emotionally, it still hurts and makes me question a lot about the relationship and whether I somehow wasn't enough. Okay, that was a lot of information there. But to me personally, I think that some people might read this story and maybe get thrown off by like the gender politics of it. Someone might think, okay, boyfriend used to be straight, now he's not. Lesbian friend identifies as he, they, there's a lot of information here that I think can draw people away from the core problem. I really don't care about people's sexual orientation or how they choose to identify, what pronouns they go by. I really don't think, for me, that that's really important in this scenario. What is important in this scenario is that your partner and your friend seemingly had some kind of relationship building while you were still with your partner. And the second that you guys broke up because you were uncomfortable and confused about what you were seeing, they immediately end up together. So, in my opinion, this is really just about a partner and a friend betraying you. It doesn't seem like you have hard evidence that they were up to some sneaky shenanigans behind your back, but I think that there's a lot to say here about intuition and what you're kind of seeing and what you're feeling. I wish that there was some context here about how long you and your boyfriend were together and how long you and your friend were friends with each other. I think that that's also important information. But if you and your boyfriend had been together for months and months and months, or years and years, and you never really had any issues in your relationship, and then you don't really have any reason to distrust them or feel wary about introducing your partner to any of your friends, and now you've introduced your boyfriend to this friend of yours, and you're feeling suspicious, you're feeling nervous, you're feeling confused, I think you should trust those feelings. I think those feelings don't just come out of nowhere. Now, if you're somebody who generally is jealous and you immediately jump to the conclusion of,
My partner must be cheating on me.
they looked at the waitress and they smiled for 1 second too long, they're thinking about cheating on me. Like, if you're naturally that kind of person, first of all, talk to a therapist. But if you're naturally that kind of person, then maybe don't trust that feeling every time you feel it. But again, in a scenario where you've never had trust issues with your partner, and then you introduce your partner to a friend of yours, and then you start feeling this way, I think that that's something to look into. I think that we have gut feelings and intuition for a reason to prevent us from getting hurt and being in dangerous situations. So, I think that if you had these feelings, there potentially was something going on behind your back. And at the end of the day, good riddance to both of these people. If this partner is no longer in your life, obviously they're not, you've broken up with them. I hope that your friend is no longer a part of your life. I don't think either one of these people really cared about you, because people who really care about you are not going to immediately jump into a relationship with each other the second that you break up with your partner because of you being suspicious about the relationship that they had. Like, that's not screaming, you know, good boyfriend and good friend. It's really, really not. So I know that you probably feel a little silly and confused and upset about this scenario, and that's completely natural. But I think when enough time passes, you're going to look back at the situation and you're going to be so happy that these people are no longer in your life and that they really never cared about you to begin with. So I'm sorry that you're hurting. I really am. But you are not a fool. These people are fools. And be very thankful that they are no longer in your sphere. Some of the top comments are, your friend was not a good friend. They also were not a lesbian. And the second top comment here is, this happened to me with two of my best friends who I introduced together. I lost them both, and they had a crazy toxic relationship that somehow they decided to blame everything on me, even though I lived thousands of miles away at the time and never even saw them. It's fucked up and messes with your head for a long time, but you will make better friends who never do anything to betray you, and you'll forget all about these losers one day. That right there, nail, hammer on the nail on the hammer. You hit the hammer on the head. You hit the nail on the hammer. Wait, you hit the head. Oh my God. You hit the hammer on the hail. Oh my God. You hit the nail. I'm really having a problem with this phrase right now. I swear to God, I know it. But that's correct. This situation, one day you're going to look back at it and you're going to be able to kind of just like laugh at the situation, and you're going to be happy that these losers are no longer a part of your life. I promise you. Next story is coming from Am I the Asshole? It's a little bit older. It's 2 years old. It is from Mad Men 22, and it is titled, Am I the Asshole for a Prank That Went Too Far? I, 35 male, am a manager at a company, and I have a friendly rapport with one of my direct reports, Sam, 28 male. We've joked around and played harmless pranks on each other in the past as part of our work friendship. The other day in the break room, I noticed Sam seemed uncomfortable and was trying to avoid me. I approached him and in a light-hearted tone said, Hey there, what's the matter? Sam replied that he wasn't really in the mood for any pranks at the moment, but I insisted, saying, Aw, come on, I've got a good one. With a quick yank, I pulled his underwear up and over his head in one swift motion.
What did he just say?
What the hell?
There was an audible ripping sound as the fabric wedged into an uncomfortable position. Sam let out a pained yelp and started shuffling around, his face flushed with embarrassment. The other employees who witnessed it, and then you did it in front of people. The other employees who witnessed it began laughing at the situation. In the moment, I'll admit, I also found it a bit funny, thinking it was just another harmless prank between us. But as I saw the genuine distress on Sam's face, I was overcome with a sense of guilt. I realized my actions had gone too far and caused real discomfort. No shit. And humiliation for my coworker, even if it wasn't my intent. It wasn't your intent? Pulling someone's underwear over their head, it wasn't your intent to humiliate them? I'm deeply concerned that I may have seriously damaged our work relationship. I feel terrible about this incident, and I want to make sure I handle these kinds of situations more thoughtfully and considerately going forward. I'm not sure how to approach Sam and make amends, but I know I need to do something. Reddit, I'm seeking advice on how I can repair the damage I've caused and ensure I don't repeat this kind of behavior in the future. I want to maintain a positive professional dynamic with my coworker. My advice to you is to hand over your resignation to HR because you are a shit manager. You're a shit person for doing this. Even if you weren't this guy's manager, which you are, you should never do something like this to anyone ever, in a work setting or not in a work setting. What exactly was your intent? Your intent was like to have fun, like to pull a prank by pulling someone's underwear over their head in front of other people. Do you think that that's gonna be something that he can laugh about, honestly, especially in a work setting? Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, think that doing that to somebody at their place of work is going to be something that they can be like,
You got me. That was a good one.
like, truly, you really think that? You are a moron. And I don't know how you even got to this place, how you even became a manager if this is the way that you act. Are you kidding me? You're like 7 years older than this guy, right? You are 7 years older than him. You are his manager. He looks up to you. You are supposed to be someone who mentors him and guides him. You're supposed to give him like professional constructive feedback. You have a power imbalance. You are in charge of this guy, and you do something like this to him. I If I was the HR manager at your place of work and I saw this, you would immediately have been fired, like right then and there. Oh my God. I feel so sorry for Sam. And truly, I just don't think that you should be his manager or a manager at this company. I think you really need to just show yourself the door and leave. This is absolutely ridiculous. Some of the comments here are, this can't be real, right? A 35-year-old man thinks an atomic wedgie is appropriate in the workplace. And another note, like, a wedgie? Like, what are you? Are you like a high school bully from a 90s movie? What kind of prank is that in the year of 2026? You're a 35-year-old working professional. Like, what? But back to the comment. Perhaps I don't know what people find funny anymore, but this seems like a great way to get fired at any place I've ever worked. Most workplace pranks could be harassment. If this is real, you are the asshole. I don't think your relationship will recover. You can apologize and own responsibility, but I don't think your relationship will ever go back to how it was or even be positive. I think a lot of the times the best it can be is to be neutral or cordial, meaning this person thinks that your relationship at best will be neutral and cordial, but it will never be how it was again. OP replies back to this comment saying, if I did it to you and profusely apologized, would you forgive me? And someone replies back to OP saying, never. If you have not grown up by now, it is not likely. No, if someone did this to me, I would probably like, I'm not, you know what? Let me not condone physical violence. We would not be cool if you did this to me. I'm telling you that right now. Honestly, I would like see if I could press charges. That's something that I can like legally advocate for, right? Yeah. I would be like, I want to call the police and I want to file like sexual harassment. You like grabbed my underwear from outside of my clothes and like pulled it over my head in front of a bunch of people. Like you've assaulted me. So good luck going to jail, Greg. Maybe you won't go to jail, but like there I promise you we're not going to be okay. I will not. I would not take something like that lightly even a little bit. There'd be a big problem on your hands coming from me. Another couple comments. This is a difficult question because I'm genuinely not friends with people who do pranks like this. The closest thing is something a decade ago when I gave my favorite cousin an Xbox and a PlayStation box. Diehard Microsoft guy, so first he was a little disappointed but said thanks. Then once he opened it, he got super excited. Depending on how close we were, I'd maybe forgive, but I wouldn't forget, and I would ask to be transferred to another manager. It's literal assault. You embarrassed him and physically hurt him. In the nicest way possible, please mature a bit and don't do these things at work. OP replies again saying, just to clarify, he pranked me the week before and shot me with a painful fake gun. What? I guess I was still upset and wanted to one up him. Not an excuse for what I did, and I will end office pranks. And the last comment here is, what industry do you work in? This sounds like some playground BS. You must not have HR. Truly, like, what's going on in your workplace where you guys are like shooting each other with fake guns and pulling atomic wedgies on each other? Like, is this like is this for real? This is nuts. You're the asshole. This prank is absolutely ridiculous. You are an asshole. You are a fool. And you would be very lucky if this guy did not, like, again, try to press charges against you because bet I would. Okay, next story is coming from our relationship advice. This is also a little bit older. It's 3 years old. It's coming from Simple Excitement 21. It is titled Calling Your Girlfriend Your Ex-Girlfriend's Name Prank. My girlfriend, 41 female, and myself, 33 female. Quick question. So, this prank is going viral, and I'm seeing it more and more. My girlfriend thought it would be funny to do this prank on me, and I got extremely upset because she didn't just call me her ex's name once, but multiple times. She then informed me it was a prank and that I shouldn't be upset as it was only a joke. I explained to her that knowing the way her ex was to her and how I consistently try to prove myself to her because she has issues from that relationship was not funny or okay to call me her name. She decided to bring her kid into the matter, which is neither here nor there. It is. I guess we'll get to that later. But she asked her daughter's thoughts on the matter. Mind you, her daughter is only 13 years old. She is now upset because she thinks it's not okay for me to be upset over the situation. What are your thoughts or opinions? I actually remember this prank. Again, this post is a couple years old, it's 3 years old. And I remember seeing a couple clips. I remember this one clip of this girl. She was like lying on the floor, and her boyfriend was on top of her. I think he was like tickling her, or they were like play wrestling or something. And she calls him obviously not his own name. It's her ex's name, I think. Or maybe it's just, maybe it wasn't an ex's name, but it was just another guy's name. And she had like obviously set up a camera hidden so her boyfriend didn't know that they were being recorded. So he's tickling her. She calls him whatever name. And then he, like, his whole demeanor, his whole like body language changes. And he's just like, who is that? Who is that? And she's trying to pretend like, oh, I didn't say anybody else's name. I don't know what you're talking about. And he just genuinely looks so sad and so upset and so confused. Like, who were you thinking about just now? Like, that wasn't me. And like, thinking about it makes me so sad because that poor boy looked so sad. Again, I think the point of a prank is that whether the prank maybe scares someone for a second or, gets them super excited for a second, I think once the prank is over and the person being pranked realizes that like the situation isn't real, everybody should be laughing about the situation, you know? Like that person should be like, "Oh my god, you got me. That was good." If that is not the person's reaction, then it's not a good prank. If at the end of the prank, this person is crying, they are upset, they're mad at you, they don't want to talk to you, like, it's not a good prank.
This is not good.
Especially in a romantic relationship, some people just flat out don't like pranks, even if it is something like a little silly. Like, you're hiding behind the corner and you come around the corner and like you scare them or something, right? Even if it's something silly like that. If this person explicitly tells you, I don't like that, I don't like being pranked, I don't like being scared, don't do that to me. You need to have clear boundaries set in your relationship of what you do and don't like, okay? But if you establish that you don't mind pranks, you guys trick each other a little bit, whatever, then the foundation of a good prank is that after you prank this person, again, they need to be able to say, haha, that was funny, you got me, good one. And this is not that situation. I don't know what OP's OP's girlfriend's ex did to them, but clearly they were not a good person. Because if OP is saying, I've had to constantly prove myself in this relationship, my girlfriend's ex treated her badly and she's had trauma from this relationship, and I've had to deal with that, and I've had to prove that I'm a different person than my girlfriend's ex. And now you have the nerve to try to call me that person's name, and not just once, over and over and over. You're comparing me to this person. That's not funny, you know? Could you imagine in a situation where I'm dating Bob and Bob's ex is Alice, and Alice cheated on Bob with like 50 different guys? And then as a prank, Bob is like, "Oh, Alice, you're such a hoot," and then calls me Alice over and over and over. You're calling me the same name as this girl who cheated on you with 50 guys? Don't fucking call me that name. I'm not that person. That's not funny. If in another situation, Alice was like abusive, hitting you or financially abusing you, emotionally abusing you, whatever the case is, and now you're calling me that name? Are you kidding me?
Say that again. I don't think I heard you, son.
You have every right to be upset by it and hurt by it. And then on top of this whole situation, then your girlfriend gets her kid involved and is asking the opinion of a 13-year-old child.
This is a good prank, right?
The kid's 13. They think any stupid prank is going to be funny. This is not an opinion you should be taking into account in this scenario. OP, I fear your partner sucks. And I think you really need to sit this person down and explain to them how much this situation hurt you, because it is not funny to be called after a person who was not a good partner. Like, it's just, this is not a funny prank at all. They suck. Oh my God. Top comments here. Your girlfriend is a piece of shit. Prank aside, making a child take sides in an argument is some of the lowest shit I've seen on here in a while. Why the fuck would she put that kind of burden on a kid? Just like most pranks these days, it lacks creativity and the joke is 100% at your discomfort. Another comment. That sounds less like a fun prank and more like a game of let's see how quick I can detonate my relationship. Another comment. Oh, I've heard of this. It's called the end your current relationship prank. It sounds like she called you by her ex's name and has a great cover story for it. That's not something that I thought about. There is the potential, maybe, that your girlfriend is like in contact with her ex or thinking about her ex, and it actually really wasn't a prank. Like maybe your girlfriend was genuinely thinking about her ex and then called you the name by accident. And then she's trying to cover it up by saying, oh, no, 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 it was just a prank. And, if it was an accident, then I guess, like, so be it. Like, if it truly was an accident. But I still think getting her kid involved and being like, it was a prank, right? Like, they shouldn't be upset. Like, that shit is still low. Because now, like, I know people use the term gaslighting a lot, but then it's like you're really trying to gaslight me into thinking that this was like an intentional thing and it really wasn't. Like you genuinely had a slip of the tongue and you called me your ex's name, potentially by accident, but now you're trying to like turn it all around and be like, oh, you're getting so mad. It was just a prank. Get over it. Even my kid thinks that this is silly. Get over it. Just own up to your shit. If it really was a mistake, just own up to it and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know where that came from. I called you my ex's name by accident, and I really didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Truly, if it was an accident, right? But I don't know. I feel like it wasn't an accident. I feel like this was really your girlfriend's idea of a prank. And if that is the case, you should sit her down and tell her, this isn't funny. This is why it offends me. This is why it hurts me. It's incredibly immature of you to get your kid involved in the situation. If you keep this kind of stuff up, we're not going to be in a relationship for much longer. So get it together, okay? Last story I have here is coming from Am I the Asshole? It's also 2 years old, and it's from user Fragrant Shift 2392. It is titled, Am I the Asshole for Pranking My Roommate with Fake Lottery Tickets? Okay, so here's the story. My roommate, let's call him Dave, has been going through a rough patch lately. Money's tight, he's stressed about work, you know the drill. Oh my God, I'm already annoyed. This guy's struggling with money and you prank him with fake lottery tickets. I'm sure this is going to go really well. One day, I stumble upon this prank website that lets you create fake lottery tickets that look super convincing. And being the mischievous person I am, I thought it would be hilarious to give Dave a little pick me up by pretending he won big. So I bought a couple of these fake tickets and planted them around the apartment where I knew he'd find them. I even sprinkled some confetti around for effect. The plan was to wait for his reaction and then reveal the truth before he got too carried away. Well, let's just say things didn't exactly go according to plan. Shocker! Dave found the first ticket in the kitchen and started jumping up and down, screaming about how he was going to quit his job and buy a yacht. I couldn't help but laugh, but then he found the second ticket and the third. By the time he found all of them, he was practically in tears, hugging me and thanking me for changing his life. And that's when I knew I messed up big time. I tried to come clean and tell him they were fake, but he wouldn't listen. He was already making plans to cash in the winnings and live the high life. I felt terrible, but I didn't know how to break it to him without crushing his spirit. Well, as you can probably guess, reality came crashing down pretty hard when he tried. Oh my God, you let him go in and try. Reality came crashing down pretty hard when he tried to cash in the tickets and found out they were fake. He was devastated, and I felt like the world's biggest jerk. Do you want to know why you felt like the world's biggest jerk? Because you are.
You suck so hard.
Now, Dave won't talk to me, and I'm stuck sitting here feeling like I ruined our friendship over a stupid prank. Oh my God. You suck. You suck so bad. Your friend is struggling with money. He's stressed about work. He's going through it. And you're like, I know. I know what will lift his spirits. I'm going to make him believe that he will no longer have money issues ever again just to burst his bubble. Like, why would you think that that's a nice thing to do? Let's say like a husband and wife are having infertility issues and like the wife is like super stressed about it because it's been like her dream her whole life to be a mother, and she like takes a pregnancy test, and while she's waiting for the results, the husband sneaks in there. He sees like the result is negative, but then he switches it out for like a positive one. And then when she goes to check on it and sees it's positive, she's like, oh my God, like our dreams are coming true. I'm pregnant. I'm having a baby. And he's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then like the next day, he's like, just kidding. No, you're not. I switched out the pregnancy test. You're not pregnant.
LOL, so funny, right?
Like, are you kidding me? Why would you do that to somebody? Why, you know that they are having a, like the stressful situation, and then you trick them into believing the opposite of that situation, and then you're like, just kidding. You're still suffering. Oh my God. I hope that he is able to find another apartment somewhere and moves out, and he never fucking speaks to you again because you are a raging asshole. Money problems is like one of the most stressful things a human being can deal with. Like living paycheck to paycheck, having debt that you're struggling to pay off, barely having money to like buy food. I don't know how intense of money issues Dave was having at the time, but like to prank him into thinking you're not going to have to worry about that anymore. You're set now. And then you let this man go to whatever place that he has to go to cash in the winnings. And then he has to be told, like, oh no, these are all fake. Go home. Oh my God. I feel so bad for Dave. And you are just like the biggest asshole. Top comment here. So someone quotes OP saying, well, let's just say things didn't go according to plan. And they respond to that saying, name one story where doing fake lottery tickets to someone who is desperate for money goes according to plan. Yeah, you're the asshole. Someone else replies, is this even a real story? Another comment, seems like you're the asshole if you know your friend is easily convinced about such things. Why would you make him feel sad like that? And last comment I'll read here, definitely you're the asshole. While it may seem like a harmless prank at the beginning, playing with someone's emotions about financial security is no joke. A good rule of thumb is to consider whether the prank would just be as funny if it were done to you, especially if you're in a precarious financial situation. Also, the potential fallout isn't worth the few seconds of amusement. Yeah, no, like, why are you willing to potentially blow up a years long relationship, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, a work relationship, whatever it is? Why are you willing to potentially blow it up over a few moments of a stupid prank? Or again, like my rule of thumb earlier, if at the end of the situation both parties involved aren't like laughing about it, like just don't fucking do it. Oh my God, this guy sucks. I can't. If this guy was my friend, I would never speak to him again. So, yeah, guys. Those are all the stories that I had today. I feel like I usually try to find a more lighthearted, like palate cleanser story for the last story. I was not really able to find any like silly, lighthearted pranks that were not like super, super like long and convoluted. Maybe I didn't look hard enough. All of these pranks like suck. All of these people suck. I'm not really a big like prankster. The kind of pranks that I do are like what I mentioned, like hiding around the corner. And then when someone comes around the corner, I'm just like, boo. That is like the extent of like pranking somebody. I just don't want people's feelings to get hurt. I don't want to come up with this whole elaborate thing and make you think something is like real or not real and then just be like, just kidding. But whatever. If you like pranks, you do you, but just please don't like hurt the pranky's feelings in the process. Come on now. Come on now. Thank you again for being here. I so appreciate it. It's so much fun hanging out with you. There's another video that'll pop up here momentarily. Click on it, watch more. I have much more videos. Many more videos? I have more videos, so click on them, watch them. You can follow me on Instagram, you can follow me on TikTok. My name is, funnily enough, Ashley, I think across the board. So yeah, follow me, like, share, subscribe. It was fun again, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. So have a good rest of your day. Have a fun and safe April Fool's Day, please. And yeah, bye-bye. Bye-bye.